So this is the way the Palau rainforest looks like, and what you see here is the updated version of this little railway system, a monorail. It used to be a regular narrow scale railway here. As you see, that's been abandoned, but the monorail will be taking back the monorail on the way back. And I'm just walking down, enjoying nature, down to the waterfall. It's amazing to see how fast things grow here. Look at this, this is the abandoned railway and the trees already on the top of it. These can be very slippery. That's the only danger. Otherwise, it's all magic. I'm finally getting to my waterfall after all these U-turns. I'm so excited.
Just enjoy the singing birds for a moment, the sound of the rainforest.
Welcome to Amalik State, and my name is Lely Obagarbao, and I'm the Amalik State Tourism Program Director.
Oh, very nice.
And
It's certainly a pleasure having you.
right now you're over at our it's like a center site for Amalik Historical and Cultural Tourism Program, and it's the Abay.
This is a very historical site. Could you say a few words about the history of this?
Yes, this is a man's traditional meeting house, and our Abay is the youngest Abay of Palau. It was built in June 1995, and the traditional Abay are for the traditional men's meeting house, and usually in the way back it's not only for the traditional meeting house only. It's also like a school and a court, and every function will take place on the Abay.
So it's like a cultural center,
Yeah, like
a meeting place for, but only men and women and children as well, or not children, right?
No children. There's a time if there is an event in the community, and that is when something will take place. But those people who be in the Abay are those 10 traditional chiefs from this village of Amalik.
So they are village leaders, right? Deciding on the future of the village, certain decisions, like you had a major storm and something was damaged, or
Yes.
new trade opportunities.
Yeah. Everything that's going to take place in this, even the new ideas on how the community is going to do or going to develop for the community will take place in this. All the ideas will be developed here, and the community will follow what the decision from the traditional chiefs have come. The community will follow the decisions of the traditional chiefs. Everything will be final here for the community.
Could you say a few words about these signs? For example, this rooster, this is money, right?
Yes.
This means money.
All these symbols are money.
So
The
wealth,
signs of
right?
money. And the roosters, everybody in Palau, you will find the rooster, the art of rooster. It means that the traditional chiefs have to be awake early, like a rooster, and they have to do something for the community or think on new things for the development or for the economic of the community. Yeah.
Some development in
Yeah.
mind, creation.
Yeah.
Yeah, roosters has several wives though, is that...
Because the roosters, there's a time that the rooster will, when they say like a cock-a-doodle-doo, and
Yes.
the latest is like 5 o'clock, and then they're already down to the ground. So that means that the traditional chiefs, they have to be up on that time.
I see.
Yeah.
So they are early starters.
Yeah, they will start early. These faces here are the faces of we can say they can be the card for the Abay. Yeah, because in our traditional Palawan way, the Palawans long ago believed that when nobody's at the house, there's always the invisible person in the house that be guarding the house. So these faces, you will find a lot in the Abay, even the poles in the Abay. Those are the faces for that person who you cannot see, but he's there to guard a house or the Abay.
So can we step inside?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. We have to take our shoes off, right? Okay.
And all these beams from the Abay, you can see the artwork on the beams, and it's the stories are only not only from this place, from the different places of Palau, but they are like when you hear the stories, you will know that there's the reason for these stories.
So these are basically like the storyboards, right?
Yes.
And do you read them left to right or right to left? Which way do you read them? I mean, for example, look at this story here.
Yeah.
What does this tell us?
It starts from here to there.
So left to right.
Yeah.
So would you be so kind to explain one of these storyboards? You know, decode them. I'm sorry, but I'm still taking all the stories of these beams. Yeah, and some like this one I know because this is the story of my place, this place, like this one. Oh, very good.
But
yeah.
not all of them.
Can you talk about this then a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, these are like fireplaces here,
Yeah.
right?
There has to be a fireplace in every bay of Palau. Yeah.
Did they eat here as well, cook, or just
They don't cook
just to
here.
have the fire
Yeah,
on?
the reason for the fireplace, they lit it to warm the traditional chiefs when they have a meeting, and also to protect the roof from the insects, termites.
I see. Just smoke it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Use the smoke
Yeah.
against insects. Very good. So would you be so kind? This is fascinating. This.
Yes, this story took place from one of the villages here in Aimalik. It's a story about the snake from Eleui. And this snake, every time he sees the fire, he come down to the village and eat people. And so that is when these people, the high chief told the community that they have to evacuate their village.
Oh, because of the snake?
The snake. But every family is evacuated except for one woman. She's not married, she don't have kids. So she went to the pier and waiting for somebody to take her with them. But nobody, they reject her.
Oh.
So everybody left except her. She went to the taro pots and she stayed there and she only ate the raw food like taro. And one day she happened to became pregnant and then she bore a boy. And this boy was growing fast every day.
So that's the little boy there, right?
Yeah. And then one day he was asking the mother why they eat the raw food every day. Then that's when the mother was telling him that because of the snake, this place there's a big snake. And the snake, and so one day the boy started building piles of rocks. And one day he made fires on the rocks. And it's been a long time that the snake don't eat, so he's really hungry. So he came down the village, and that's when the boy started throwing the burning rocks to the snake, and he started eating it. And then the snake died.
I see, and that's the burning rocks here.
Yeah, see, he's throwing the burning rocks
Yeah.
through his mouth.
So it eventually killed the snake.
And it's about that this place, one of the village here was rich of money because of they have a good production, like this kind of tree. It's we call the fruit for this tree football fruit, because the fruit looks exactly like the football. It's brown and kind of shaped like a football. And they usually this kind of food, when they have a fruit, they scrape and they make it, and it's kind of sweet. It's like a dessert, and it's only for the high-ranking chiefs when they have a traditional custom. So it's for the special occasion.
I
So
see.
this village here was kind of rich because of they're the only one who has this kind of tree.
Very fascinating, these stories must be. So who knows these stories? Who can decode these stories? The elderly in the village, they would remember
Yes,
what the...
because in Palau, we don't write way back. We only, from generation to generation, we only give oral histories. So
Right.
so we grow up, learn from the oral history.
So
But
you passed it on from one generation to the other.
another
and
generation.
You didn't write it down. So,
No.
but they created storyboards.
Yeah, they create the storyboard and they put
Into
this.
hardwood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hardwood is very important here because of the climate.
Yeah.
Could we look at that? This is really exciting. This is like a fight between tribes, or like one tribe visits the other one and they fight, and then they seem to be happy after that.
Yeah.
Well, the way I see it, I mean, obviously this might not be the case, but I noticed that a lot of these are sexually very explicit. What does that mean?
This story is from Malgayok, where the capital is. The story is from the Malgayok, where the capital is, and it's about this ladies who went for to Malgayok for. It's like, you know, it's like a prostitution way, but it's not really a prostitution because they
Could you
know.
explain that? How does that work?
Yeah, when this community find out that the next community they have they sold a lot of things, so they in exchange of Palauan money, and then that's when these traditional chiefs here ask their clan that they have to go get the money from the next community, and then they will send every woman from its clan to there to meet the traditional chiefs at the other place like this Abai, and then they're going to go and stay with the traditional chiefs in order to get they can have sleep with them or not, but in exchange they will, when they return back, they have the money.
And these were the nicest girls in the village, right? The most beautiful girls.
Each clan they have to choose.
In the clan.
Yeah. So in my clan, for example, if my clan, we don't have a lady because most of them are very young, or
Like
most
if you
of them
didn't
are
have
married.
one, then they have to borrow from somewhere else, or what happened?
What I heard in our history, like my clan, they can say, some people send the wife of the boy from that clan.
Oh.
Yeah, it happens.
And how did they feel, these women, about this? I mean, this must have been very stressful for these women, right? To be sent away.
What I heard, it was kind of hard for them because
Yeah.
they're gonna leave their families, their kids, their husbands, and they go
Yeah.
for there to earn money.
Right. They had to go for a year or two, right? Or even longer?
No. Usually, what I heard from our historian, they said it took like 2 months to 3 months.
Or
the
2 to
longest,
3
yeah.
months.
Yeah.
So these were shorter periods.
Yeah, but if my clan decide that I'm the one going for the tour to get the money, then they have to take care of my husband and my kids. They're the one to look for the food for my family.
I see.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
But it is good now because if it's like today we're still doing it, then I'm sorry, I'm not going to take that because I feel sorry for my kids. Even
Yeah,
my
I mean,
husband, I'm not going to leave my husband for somebody
Luckily,
that.
women have been liberated and they don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, wonderful. I just look around these and take shots of these
And
beautiful
this-
paintings.
This thing,
And what is this? Yeah.
we call it regoy. It's for the traditional chiefs will be sitting down here. Their blankets and their mat will be put up here. Their belongings.
Oh, I see. It's like
Yeah.
a cupboard sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
It's very small, so you didn't carry much with you, right?
Yeah. So it's like chalk to the Palauan people that the shortest guy, they like me. I'm shorter than this one, so they tell me that you're shorter than Rokoy. This one is Rokoy. And from the floor.
They were traveling light, certainly.
Yeah, from the floor you can see this wall.
Yeah, this is for what?
When the traditional chiefs are having a meeting in the Abai, once every chief's already in the Abai, they cannot go out unless the highest chief said, okay, everyone can go if you have something to do. So if they feel like to go use the restroom, they just gonna pee.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
peeing hall.
Yeah.
So that's just for peeing hall.
Mm-hmm.
So they could actually sit above it, right? And then nobody would recognize that they have to pee.
Yeah.
And would they drink as well, or?
Yeah, sure.
So drink and pee.
And they're if they send if they're going to have like they're gonna have a meeting here and they're gonna have lunch here, then they will eat in here in the Abai. Yeah.
And who would cook for them?
It's depend if the highest chief said I'm gonna make we're going to have a lunch and I'm the one that's going to provide the lunch, then he will do. But or he said, everyone when you come bring your own lunch. Then they will bring their own lunch.
They will be coming for a couple of days or
hours. They can
Or
be here
hours.
for a couple of days or weeks. If there's a mission that they're going to
based on the discussion,
yeah, the
and,
discussion,
and the
yeah.
entertainment as well,
yeah.
right? I see. So they would be discussing politics as well as being entertained.
Yes.
Right.
And also, if there is a trip from this place going to have a feast in another place, for example, like the capital, the Amalgayok, then they will practice the dance here.
I see.
Yeah. So that's why I said the Abay's is not only for the traditional men's only. Mainly, it's a traditional men's meeting house, but it was like a school, a court. They make adjustment here for any punishment of anybody who break the law for the community.
Oh.
Yeah, and
It's a decision-making place
yes,
as well as a cultural center. you know.
yeah. That's why.
Nice.
And the traditional chiefs, when they're having a meeting for something, they only whisper.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like
It's out of respect, right?
the highest chief will just send this messenger. His messenger will go to the second chief and whisper. Yeah, that's why in our government now they named our legislature Olbi Rakalulaw. It means that the decision has to be whispered.
Can I ask something? I don't see any opportunity here for privacy. I mean, how was privacy solved? I mean, it seems that these men were all together with all the women, right? I mean, where's the privacy? They saw everybody doing everything, right?
No, because at night it's kind of dark.
Oh, it's night.
Yeah.
It is dark.
Yeah.
I see. So just a fire in the middle to keep
Just
the
walk
insects
by,
away.
Yeah, and keep them warm.
Romantic
Yeah,
lights,
yeah.
drinks,
Yeah.
the peeing hole, and the women around you taking decisions. huh?
Yeah.
It's a man's world,
Yeah,
right?
it's a man's world. Yeah, and I'll be at my house waiting for my husband for a couple of days because he's at the Abay and the woman from another place are here. Oh, some people. I heard that some wives got jealous.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm very lucky. We're not we're the practice for that kind of thing is no longer here in Palau. Because if it still exists, then I'm gonna tell my husband, no, you're not gonna take any title. I'm not gonna accept that.
But tell me, how's it now? Who's the boss at home? Is the lady or the man? Who's the boss at home?
Equal.
Equal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
It's equal because as of now in Palau, the men are working and the women are working. And they were both married. They're married and working. They're both working. So they both earning money. It's not like Palau way back. That the woman only at the house cooking and taking care of the kids and the husbands are the one going for go for money. Yeah. So
Everybody's earning and
in
contributing.
contributing, I have a contribution for my
Of
house.
course, that's
So
nice. Yeah,
it's equal in my house.
very good.
And as of now, we believe in I'm a Christian. Everybody believe in God, so everybody's are equal. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
This is the front of the Abay. From this Abay, as this part is your right. You have to face south, and the right is for the first chief is on your right on this front of the Abay. The second chief is over there, and the third chief will be sitting on the corner on the right side and the end on the south of the Abay. And the fourth chief will be sitting at the end also on the left side on the south of the Abay. So
you
that
have
means
4
that
chiefs over
10.
10.
Yeah, so that means that odd number will be on the right, and the even number will be on the left, following the first and the second chip.
But with all respect, we have more than 10 being halls. It means that there are more than 10 people attending this usually, right?
Yeah.
But the only 10 chiefs, up to 10 chiefs.
Up to 10 chips, but they have they call them map. Maybe I can say they're like a messenger, because they're the one that giving them instruction to tell another chip what. Yeah.
I see, the messengers were moving between chiefs.
They're the one. Yeah. When the first chip have a message for the second chip, he just whispered to his messenger. The messenger from the first chip would just go to the second chip and whisper and go back. And then the second chip, his decision, his messenger will be sent to the first chip to tell him, and then go back.
And can I ask you, did they smoke pot or marijuana or something like that? Or
No, marijuana is too early in Palau. Maybe, I think that's maybe early 70s.
was it introduced by the Chinese traders or Indian?
I never heard of that.
No?
Yeah.
So they didn't take any drugs? They smoked something, right?
No.
No, they drank
Only
tea?
chewing.
Chewing.
Yeah, chewing betel nut.
Well, that's similar, yeah. Beads, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's similar in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's all I can give you. And also, there's also something from the outside that is very interesting that I want to show you.
Oh, please do, yes. Thank you so much. This is so exciting.
Yeah. from this stone right here, if the queen from this place, if he has a message for the traditional chiefs, she just sent her messenger. When the messenger, a lady, come to an abai for to give them the message, he just come right behind this stone and stand over here and wait for the messenger of the high chief to come out and get the message, and then she will go back.
So this was like a meeting point, or
Yeah, where the messenger of the queen meet the messenger of the first chief. Yeah, they have restrictions.
Right. Yeah. So this was like a point of contact.
Point of contact. Yeah.
Very interesting. So everything was regulated quite a bit.
Yes. And around this stone platform, you can see like these stones around, and those are for the traditional chiefs that they just go and sit on the stone and lean to their back on the stone. Yeah.
Just to rest.
Just to rest, or if there is an event outside, they will sit there and watch the event.
They could think there, right, about their decisions. Rest and think.
Yeah. And right over here, you can see this stone platform here.
Yeah, it's almost like a road.
It's for the dancing.
Oh,
Yeah.
but this must have been flatter, right? Because it's hard to dance on this surface.
Yeah.
It might hurt your finger and your legs.
But in the way back, they didn't wear shoes, so their feet are used to be.
Oh, it's harder.
Yeah, it's hard. They used to be dancing on top of the stones and jumping and doing activities on this platform, but they don't feel anything. It doesn't hurt.
I understand they use the sea cucumber's gut to cover their feet. I heard that from a kayaking guide. Yeah, he said that they put sea cucumber on the feet
when they go out
to protect it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when they go out to the ocean.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you bring the sea cucumber to the land, then it's gonna be.
No, the gut of it is almost like it's a yellow plasticish kind of material, you know. No, you never heard.
I never heard. Yeah.
And what is that there? That seems to be a big plate or a.
That's a clamshell, and.
Well, it's hard. It's stone, right? It's not really a clamshell.
It's a clamshell.
It's a real one.
Yeah, but it's been years and years and years. So when you look at it, it doesn't look now like a clamshell. But
they look like carved stone. Yeah.
But that one is for when the warriors go to another place for war. If they catch the enemies, they will cut the head and bring the head to their community.
That's
and
not
then
very nice.
that is where they're going to put the head. And the warriors will perform dance. They will be performing on top of here, celebrating for what they bring to their community. They went for the war and they brought the enemy.
Must have been a bloody sight.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not the practice anymore, I hope.
No.
Very good.
And from this abai, it's from what I learned from some archaeologists. It's 1,200 years ago.
Yeah. They started this practice.
Yeah, after the terraces. What they learned is the terraces are the first settlement who come to Palau was from the terraces. After the terraces, then they will start the platform. So that's when you can find the road, stones, and the platform for the houses and the abais and the burials.
Very exciting. Well, thank you ever so much for this.
Thank you.
We'll be sharing this with the world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, all the
There's no
materials.
nail.
No nail.
Yeah, they're all tied.
Oh, that's
or
very interesting.
they carve the wood and make it clams. Yeah, but there's not even one nail.
Wow, yes, I
Yeah.
noticed that the joints are very well done.
Yeah, they make the joint.
It's coconut hair, right?
Yeah, and this abai is only stand on the stones.
And also structurally, they just
Yeah.
carve out a
Yeah.
joint like this. It's almost like a ship. And I noticed that the rocks there
Yeah.
are where the fires are.
Yes.
So it has a very strong foundation. I suppose those stones warmed up as well.
Yeah.
Kept the whole
I
structure
don't
very
think that
dry.
it can all warmed up. I think only in the center. Because
But still, it was a bit warmer, so it wasn't that
Yeah,
moist. You know,
yeah.
in this very high humidity environment, I think it was a huge benefit for the wood
Yeah.
to keep it dry. This is hardwood, right? So
Yeah.
it's pretty hard wood, so it doesn't get rotten in this very humid
Yeah.
environment.
The termite hardly rotten the wood, except for the parts of the roof. Yeah. The woods from the roof are easy to be damaged by the.
And that's coconut rope, isn't it? Yeah, it's all put together without any nails. Yeah, very nice. You see everywhere. Well, those guys knew how to build strong buildings in this weather. It's not a small task.
Yeah. The woman art right here is art of one of the queen who used to be the queen of this village. See, somehow the son went to Ngaramlangui and they killed him, and that's when he went around looking for ribbons, and she ended up married the Raklai, the high chief of Malgayok, and asked him for the ribbons. So the Raklai hired somebody from the next village to get the ribbons, and then they brought up from SR brought the body of the men who killed her son and bring to this place, and they buried him with a stone. Only the women are the one who buried him with stones.
Or they killed him with stones?
Yeah, and that woman,
tough.
the story of the woman, the queen, was she spent during her time as a queen. She spent a lot of money. She bring into her community a lot of money. Yeah.
She must have been very pretty and clever as well.
Yeah. So they say that she was also was of the most expensive queen of this village. That's why they put the picture there, her art there. The art of a woman there. She's having she's holding a money on her both hands.
Yeah. And also tattoos, right? They tattooed themselves.
Yeah, and they say that the story that they were telling that all her bodies are all tattoos. Yeah. The hands and the feet you cannot see because all tattoos. So they gave her the name. They gave her the name Dirungulbai Lutum o Il. It means that her feet are all covered with the tattoos. And in the way back, the tattoos, there's a meaning for that.
Yeah. People painted their bodies.
Because they're from the high clan, they have a lot of tattoos on them, on themselves. But I don't think tattoos are good.
Yeah, I don't like tattoos either. They're very toxic paint.
Yeah. As of right now, we're over at the terraces of Imalik. And as you can see here, this is where this whole terraces was. We are right here on this ground of these terraces. This white thing is all terraces. And
what's the historical meaning of this? Why did they build this?
In Palau, all the historians, they don't have any information regarding this this kind of historical, the terraces.
So in other words, we don't know.
We don't know.
Maybe was it a burial tomb or something like that? Or
from what
monument?
from what the archaeologists have studied, they learned that they found some paths, and some things that they believe there were in asses that they believe there was a living movement in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like people, like a village or...
a village, and
I see.
something was going on this earthwork.
They found some
Yeah.
pots and bones and...
And what the historians say, they say these are natural. They are causes of the in our lesson. They say it was causes from the tidal wave.
Oh.
Yeah, but what the archaeologists study, these terraces was built from 2,004 years before past to 2,004 years to 2,000 years before past.
So 2,400 to 2,000 BC.
BC, yeah.
Wow.
And
It's very old.
what they have learned is that there were this whole area can be estimated over 80,000 people were doing the work. Because during that time, there are no excavation machine.
Yeah, no machines,
Yeah.
no excavators.
Yeah. So we don't know.
Caterpillar wasn't around yet.
There's no caterpillar. So usually they're only you using the clamshell piece by piece.
Oh yes, with shells.
But what the archaeologists learn, this thing here is the ground. This ground, most terraces, they have a ground like this. It's kind of round on top, not flat like where we are now. And they have thick conserved. They learned that this ground, the soil was removed from another place to here.
Did anybody dig inside this, see what's inside, or X-ray it maybe?
Yeah, they have thick.
And what's inside?
It's only soil.
Right, so that's very interesting.
Yeah, but the soil there is the pact of the soil are different from where we are now.
So it was taken from some other
Yeah,
place.
that's why they said the ground was made. The soil was carried to here from some other place. Yeah.
Well, very interesting. Thank you very much for sharing this with us.
this tomb is a Malsa's tomb. And it was a history of Amelie because the queen, this man killed the queen's son over at Ngaramlangui. So she went around to look for the ribbons, to take the ribbons. And she married the Raklay from Malgayok for asking for the ribbons. So Raklay asked a man from Isar up to take Malsul from Ngaramlangui. But the queen tell him that if you take him, I want him to, I want you to bring him still can see and hear me. So that's what the man who went to get the body of this Malso did. Then the queen tell to every woman here in Aimalik that come wearing Palawan money with 1 stone. And if you are pregnant, get 2 stone for you and your baby. And that's where Baab bring Malso's body here. And all the women come with their stone and buried him with the stones.
So this is where he was stoned?
Yeah, he was stoned to death here.
Well, that's tough.
But we never did any archaeological studies to see
if there bones,
any remains and everything about it.
So this is the legend?
It's a legend. Maybe it took place around like 1800s or 1700s. From in 1978.
So that's another interpretation of the story of the snake. So you would call this a modern men's meeting hall?
Yes.
And this is made out of concrete because of the termites and
We're still going to
insects. And
We're still going to eat by.
so this is a modern by.
Modern by.
Hey, there's no peeing hole.
No. They have a
Toilet outside.
outside.
But this is very interesting that they put this up next to Mosle's tomb, right? What do you think? Why is that?
Because all the abai for this village was this is for their this property is for the traditional chiefs here. Yeah.